Well, good afternoon, everyone. I know we're welcoming a few of you into the Zoom room here today. We're grateful to have you with us. We anticipate the call lasting approximately 30 to 35 minutes, depending on your questions. We know it takes a little bit of time to get into the meeting room, but we do want to let you know that this event is being recorded. We will be able to provide you with a link to share with your leadership, your peers, your board of directors, or your regional partners who may have been unable to attend. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to CGA's President and CEO, Sarah Magruder-Lisle. Sarah?
Thank you, Chris Ann. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sarah Magruder-Lisle. I'm the President and CEO of Common Ground Alliance. And on behalf of Team CGA, I'd like to welcome you to today's call. I want to take a few minutes to talk about why the CGA Conference Expo is such an important part of our collective work, and why it's critically important that we get together to help reduce damages to the critical infrastructure that we all rely on every day. By way of background, CGA is the only national association dedicated to reducing damages and keeping those who work and live near this underground infrastructure safe and connected. This image depicts the array of stakeholder groups that are the foundation of our organization. Bringing together all industries that are interconnected is our mission. And we want to provide more effective results through the partnerships that we have, the collaborative work we have across our stakeholder groups, and certainly in the pursuit of our common goal of damage prevention. Together, these industries make up the damage prevention industry. And that's really important when we talk about, the damage prevention process and the systemic impacts that each of these individual industries have on the damage prevention industry. I do want to take a minute to introduce you to some of our CGA team, Chris Ann Kerr, Megan Blakeney, Lisa O'Leary, and Sarah Daly. They work very hard to deliver to our members, and they are critical to making the expo and the work we do here at CGA what it is. And they will be available to answer questions you may have as we go through this. Later today, we will be releasing the most recent damage prevention tool that we use across the industry, DIRT, the Damage Information Reporting Tool. This year's report has some very interesting data in it. And what it does tell us is that we still have a lot of work to do. And the more that we can work together, the better off we will all be. One of the reasons that DIRT is so important is the only place where damages and near incidents are collected together so that we can look across the industries and we can see what is happening in the damage prevention system and what we can do to help reduce those damages and keep all of this critical infrastructure that we all rely on safe and help us stay connected. So I encourage you to read the report. It'll be out shortly. It's very interesting. There's some great takeaways in this year's report, and I think you'll find it interesting as well. So I really appreciate all of you taking the time to learn about CGA and talking about the 2023 CGA Expo. There will be a lot of opportunities to engage, a lot of opportunities to learn. Our board of directors will be there. We will be having our conference advisory panel meeting, as well as our leadership, who will be in a variety of the events and sessions. And I encourage you to ask questions. I encourage you to engage. And I really appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you in Orlando. And with that, I will turn it over to Chris Ann. Thank you so much.
Well, good sneak peek there, Sarah. This is the first group of CGA members seeing the new DIRT report cover and privy to the preview. So thank you for that. And as Sarah indicated, these reports, these data, these campaigns, this is what serves as the foundation for the CGA Conference Expo, for the content we provide, the education, and the teachable moment. So it's a big day for damage prevention. The report comes out once a year, so stay tuned to your inbox. With that being said, I'd like to move forward a little bit about what you can expect to see at the 2023 CGA Conference and Expo. We're less than 6 months away, and as Sarah just stated, the CGA Expo lands in Orlando, Florida. It's the second largest convention city in the U.S., and we're excited to put on a very comprehensive, refreshed, and robust expo for you. The Caribe Royale is minutes from the theme parks and the bustling of Orlando, but actually provides a relaxed tropical feel that's very conducive to team building, meeting, and networking. And it's also great to see that this property has just totally undergone a $127 million renovation to make it very conducive and actually a beautiful place to host a meeting. So I'm sure coming out of the winter blues, you're looking forward to some warm weather here down in sunny Florida. So let's take a look at the campus. It's a little bigger than most of the former properties that the CGA Expo has been held at. I'd like to start in like the middle left corner of your screen, and that is the Palms Ballroom. And I do see we have a question. I see Barb Cedarberg has raised your hand. Sarah D, if we can unmute Barb, please go ahead and ask away. Happy to have a question. Well, Barb, I see you have your hand raised. Maybe put the question in the chat if at all possible, and we'll see if we can't circle. Oh,
yeah, I just made a mistake and bumped it by accident. So thank you for calling on me, though.
It's good to hear your voice, Barb.
Thank you. Thank you.
No worries. And again, if you do have a question, please don't hesitate to raise your hand and drop it in the chat before you forget it, and we'll be happy to answer it. So you're looking at the Palms Ballroom to the left in the middle of your screen, and that's a 50,000 square foot ballroom that is completely sold out. We're excited to have more than 75 exhibitors and a wait list that's growing by the minute of folks excited to participate and show their wares and talk about their technologies and services at the CGA Conference and Expo. Combined, there's 220,000 square foot of exhibit space, and we're taking the gross chunk of it. You will also see right outside the convention center to the right of the Palms Ballroom, where that mini excavator is, that place host to our new Dig Demo Discuss Outdoor Expo. We'll talk through a little bit later in this presentation. Above the Palms Ballroom is the ABC room. The Antigua, Bonaire, and Curacao will play host to all of our sessions. To the right of that is the Grand Sierra Ballroom, which will be our general session room, where we'll each morning have a daily briefing and featured speakers for a luncheon and a breakfast. So the registration tower in the bottom right is Tower 1, 2, and 3 of all the sleeping rooms, the restaurants, and the pool facility. So there's plenty to do. There's actually 5 restaurants on property. You have the fine dining experience of Venetian Chop House, the Tropical serving a full breakfast, Calypso's Pool Bar, which will always be the hot spot to meet your peers. And the first Bacardi rum bar in the country has just opened up. And of course, we do have a Starbucks on property. So this is a pretty compact area where we will be having all of our meetings and events. So indoor exhibits, the Dig Demo Discuss, the gray bars that you see are sold out. The orange is still available. So some minimal space for our outdoor event, then leading into the sessions, and then our general session area. So all of the education and expo activities are located in one section of the Caribe Royale, where the sleeping rooms are removed. So not that big of a walk. And there's also a golf cart tram that runs every 10 minutes to circulate you around the property should you need that. So getting to Orlando is quite simple. When you look at Orlando proper, there's 850 daily flights from 44 different carriers. It's a hub for many of the major legacy carriers. We actually have partnerships and discounts with American, Delta, and United. So there's codes on the website that you can use to receive flight discounts. And if you're driving to Orlando, just like 811, Florida has 511, where you can call for real-time traffic delays and also see if there's any accidents and change your route. So getting to Orlando is quite simple. And once you land, there's rideshare opportunities throughout, as it's only about a 20-minute drive from the airport to the Carib. So let's talk about getting around. There's much to do before or after the event, or in the evenings after the trade show floor has closed. The Carib operates a resort shuttle, which has designated pickup and drop-off points. Whether it be Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, whatever your kingdom is, you can see it all in your downtime, just a stone's throw away from the Carib Royale. Shuttle reservations are required to get to Disney World and Disney Springs, and can be booked 2 days in advance from the concierge. And they will be available to help you with your planning. We also have a microsite courtesy of the city of Orlando that offers you invaluable tools, recommendations, and discounts should you want to go see sites other than theme parks throughout the time. If you click on the CGA Conference website, you can scroll down to where there's a Visit Orlando link, and then it takes you to this microsite where they offer transportation details, deals, discounts, tickets, all of everything you can do in and around Orlando, again, during your downtime or before or after the conference. We do have, they're called shoulder nights booked. So if you want to come early or stay late, we do have rooms available for that. Moving on, what we did last year was listen with big ears to the survey results that many of you completed. And what we did here is that there would be a great recommendation for actually some board of director training for one calls. Many of our one call centers did travel in for the CGA committee meetings, and many of their board members said, well, what can I do? What can I learn? And we saw an opportunity to actually level up with some leadership training, maybe with seeing how folks react to change and why the perception of change might be a challenge. So these are meant to enhance the board training opportunities, and these will be held while our CGA committees meet on that Monday afternoon and Tuesday. And we'll run through the schedule at a glance so you can see the changes in the entire week, as we've really looked to minimize those 12-hour days where it's push, 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 allow a little bit more downtime, a little bit more realistic start and ending times, so that you also have opportunities to do your real jobs. But this is an example of one of the outside trainers that we're bringing in that is really going to work on board dynamics, board leadership, board role within a one-call system. We're also going to repurpose some of this training for the offset, that in the conference, that you as someone that may report to a one-call board of director or be managed by one can learn what the dynamics are and what the what is. So again, there'll be dedicated track for one-call boards, and this is just one example of what they can expect to learn. So additionally, when we look at what's new, I talked about the Dig Demo Discuss presented by Ditch Witch, and we are taking the classroom learning to the field. And it is literally steps outside the exhibit hall. It's not back behind a giant convention center in a field. I actually just came from the site this morning, and on the Monday night, the first night of the CGA conference, we will have a welcome reception presented by Rust-Oleum. And within that will be the Dig Demo Discuss, where you will be able to use a piece of locating equipment, where you will be able to look at mapped utilities, see a soft dig vacuum excavation truck in working order. Well, you'll be able to use ground penetrating radar. This is very much meant to be hands-on, and this is from 5 to 8 p.m. Monday night. We've kind of bumped up the committee meetings this year, and they do begin on Monday afternoon. But we will kick off Monday night with a Dig Demo Discuss. Nothing else is open during this time. This is a standalone event. Then this event will also be open Tuesday morning, whereas those exhibitors who would like to invite in some of their local customers will have the ability to come and see their products in action. So again, the Dig Demo Discuss area is open Monday night, April 17th, in the morning of Tuesday, April 18th for local customers. Then that closes down. It's up to each individual exhibitor if they'd like to leave their piece of equipment on display, or if they're going to take that unit and put it back into production in the field. But again, this is new for this year and meant to really be that hands-on job site feel And again, right front and center of the main exhibit hall and footsteps from the sleeping rooms. So again, we'd like to thank Ditch Witch as the title sponsor, and also Rust-Oleum for stepping up to be the reception sponsor, where we'll have a barbecue and brews type event out there for everyone to enjoy. What's a national damage prevention event without a cornhole championship opportunity? And we've decided to really formalize this. And this year will be the first annual CGA National Cornhole Championship. And for those not looking at your screen right now, yes, first place is $3,000. You will be able to sign up and register your team on the main registration page, which opens November 1st. And you will have an opportunity to be the boss of the toss and brag with the bags. We will kick this off Monday night during the opening reception, and it'll very much simulate the bracket tournament for March Madness. And every time the exhibit floor is open, we will move the bag toss inside, and we will have it in the main exhibit floor with the grand champion and the CGA National Cornhole Champion to be crowned Thursday morning during the final hours of the exhibit hall. So again, thanks to Stake Center Locating for sponsoring this. Again, you'll be able to register for this. Once registration opens, you'll register your team. You'll get a commemorative t-shirt. It should be a bunch of fun, and it should be a great opportunity to network and show your skills. So again, it will be the first annual CGA National Cornhole Championship. And again, by the term first, I think you can understand that this is something we'll carry on year over year to see who wears the crown. Additionally, we are adding a couple workshops this year. These will be at an additional fee, but CGA is offering 2 new pre-conference workshops. You can register for an additional fee for the Paradigm Public Awareness Bootcamp or some hands-on learning with radio detection, who will be executing a workshop Tuesday morning as well. So again, on November 1st, when registration opens, you'll just be able to check all of these a la carte options to your main registration and be able to participate in all of them. So again, 2 pre-conference workshops, one by radio detection and one by our friends at Paradigm. Additionally, something new this year, we're taking education offsite. We saw last year and then heard in the surveys that were reported back to us that by Thursday afternoon, the in-classroom learning, folks are kind of tired with that. So we kind of looked at the opportunity of what else is in Orlando that we can do an offsite field trip to get some fresh air and to learn something new. And we've come up with 3 separate tours for Thursday afternoon, the final afternoon of the conference. This is also at the same time the Call Before You Divot Classic is occurring. So Thursday afternoon, we're moving offsite. And the first tour we are going to is the Kennedy Space Center. You will have the option to sign up on the registration page. We have transportation, 2 buses, 50 passengers each, luxury motor coaches rolling down to the Kennedy Space Center. This is sponsored by our friends at Orbital Sidekick, who actually have a satellite array that was launched in SpaceX that is reporting back real-time pipeline and emergency response data. So they'll be sharing with you some of the lessons that they have learned. They have another satellite array that's being launched in February, so a lot of data to share. Our space program is incredibly interesting, and this is a phenomenal way to be able to see the entire Kennedy Space Center. Once you get there, you will be bused between stations, so that something that'll typically take a couple days, you will get a VIP tour of all of the Kennedy Space Center, back on the bus, and be back at the Carib in time for the closing ceremony CGA Night of Networking. So again, this is limited. It's first come, first serve, and it's an additional fee, and it will be Thursday afternoon. In addition to the Kennedy Space Center, we are also offering a tour to a behind-the-scenes construction project at one of the most iconic theme parks in Orlando, and that is SeaWorld. This will be PPE required, and we'll get with you once you've signed up for this. But you will be bused over to SeaWorld, and it'll be a behind-the-scenes tour with our construction, utility, and safety department on how do you build a ride, a building in a theme park that's open 365 days a year. How do you consolidate the sound, the noise, and also the sustainability and piping into the utilities? So it should be a very interesting opportunity to look at a construction project soup to nuts and how they make it happen in such an active environment. And then lastly, the third opportunity that you have is to actually go visit the Duke Energy Disney Solar Farm and the City of Orlando Water Reclamation Facility. And what you are looking there with the big Mickey ears, that is actually the Duke Solar Field. You can see the Epcot ball from standing between the ears. We actually went and walked the site, and it's fascinating what they generate, how they convert it, and how it powers Disney. So they're going to have somebody from Duke Renewables on site, also from the Disney Business and the Disney Sustainability, to talk about the power of solar in running an amusement park as big as Disney. Couple from that'll be about 30 minutes. We'll hop back on the bus and go to the City of Orlando Water Reclamation Facility, where they clean 15 million gallons of water a day. There's nowhere to store it. What comes in must go out. And it's a fascinating process to see all the work that goes behind the scenes. And additionally, the City of Orlando has a very dedicated and integrated education program for the youth on the importance of water and sustainability. A big campaign with the Girl Scouts, whereas CGA has a big program with the Boy Scouts of America. It's an awesome opportunity to learn from other educators and those who are trying to educate the next generation of water savers as we try to train the next generation of diggers. So again, you can sign up, and again, these are first come, first serve, but as you're looking at budgeting, as you're looking at when you're going to sign up for the conference, again, these offsite tours on Thursday, they're all specialized. They're not open to the public. You just can't go buy a ticket. These are all very specific to our industry and what we can do and offer for a unique perspective and some very hands-on learning at some of the most iconic spots Orlando has to offer. So we're very excited to have these take place and to hear your feedback on what you've learned. So let's talk about the meeting schedule. We're already at Thursday. Let's back it up to Sunday. We will have a registration set up and exhibit set up on Sunday, and registration and some of the exhibits move in on Sunday night. Monday morning, we're going to be doing our board of directors meeting, and we have allowed time if there's an additional workshop or two that come down the pike. We do have some time set aside for that as well. Committee meetings will occur Monday afternoon, as well as I mentioned earlier about the One Call Center board of directors opportunities. Those are the board workplace and performance and culture tracks that will take place as well. And then Monday evening will be the CGA welcome address, welcoming everybody to the opening reception and the dig demo discuss event on Monday night. So Monday's a pretty busy day compared to years past when it was mainly a travel day. We just heard loud and clear the days were too long, too much into too tight a window. So we're trying to stretch it out a little more, giving you a bit more downtime and a bit more opportunity to learn some unique things. So something else we're doing as well is every morning at 8:11 a.m. we are going to have a daily briefing. We're going to bring everyone together in the general session room and talk about what the education looks like for the day, where the meal functions are, any changes to the schedule, any inclement weather, anything that we would need to discuss and kind of set the tone. So it'll be coffee and a conversation at the 8:11 a.m. daily briefing. And that'll kick off every day of the conference so that we can level set each day for the expectations and also communicate out personally any changes that may have occurred. So again, 8:11 to 11:25, settled, quick chat, out the door to get to learning. So Tuesday, we'll have kick it off with the CGA luncheon and our keynote speaker, educational sessions, and then the grand exhibit hall opening. That's the indoor, the 50,000 square foot Palms Ballroom. That opens Tuesday night to great fanfare, and again, sponsored by our friends at Rust-Oleum. Let me see here. Will the educational sessions be set per day? So if we choose an offsite tour Thursday, we know what would be missed. Everything will be set as far as schedule-wise, and anything Thursday that competes with the offsite tours will be much more geared toward workplace performance and culture of personal growth. It won't be dedicated towards the damage prevention conversation per se. All of that material for specific roles and specific content will be in conference Monday through Thursday morning. So the only thing competing with the offsite tours at this time is the workplace performance and culture, personal growth type sessions. So great question there, great question. And then Thursday as well, we will finish with the cornhole tournament. The expo hall will close at 10. The Cape Canaveral bus will leave shortly thereafter, whereas the other offsite tours will leave in the afternoon. Then we'll all gather back for the CGA Night of Networking. I know everybody looks forward to that, presented by our friends at Urbint. So this will kind of give you a lay of the land and what you can look at schedule-wise here. Monday, and a lot of this information is posted to cgaconference.com. That's your best and most efficient resource. We try to not over communicate via email, but this is a great way to stay abreast of the schedule. The call for proposals is currently open. It's been open now for about 3 weeks, and you can submit your session on cgaconference.com by November 1st for consideration by the advisory panel. It is our intent to have the full education session posted by the end of December before everybody leaves for the holiday. Just knowing that the majority of folks attending our conference need to use 2023 budget, and they need to know what's going to be talked about and what the docket looks like before they can actually get approval to attend. So that is the goal, to have that published in December. And again, in the chat there, Sarah Daly's been so kind to give you the link where you could submit for your call for proposal as well. So this is a schedule of events, pardon me, with the Night of Networking ending at 10 p.m. This kind of gives you an idea of the exhibit hours. Interestingly enough, if you're a first-time exhibitor, we close the exhibit floor when sessions are occurring. We don't keep the exhibit floor open 12 hours a day. You don't need to sell the person in the booth next to you. Additionally, many of our exhibitors actually are involved in content, moderating sessions, providing demos. It's also a great opportunity to go see what your customers want to learn about, or what your potential customers are interested in. So the exhibit hours are very finite, and when the exhibit hall is open, nothing else competes with them. So it's an all or none at the CGA Expo. You're all in on education, you're all in on networking, or you're all in on exhibit hours, but nothing competes. And that way we have critical mass and everybody is in lockstep and in the same realm to visit with. So again, Monday is the Dig Demo Discuss exhibits, open from 5 to 8 p.m. It's then again open Tuesday morning for local customers, or if you have a specific client or contact you want to do a demo for. Then we open the indoor exhibits Tuesday night. We're back at it Wednesday, and then Thursday as well. You do have all afternoon Thursday to move out, although that is the golf outing where many of our exhibitors land. And Friday morning, you have the ability to access the dock and move out as well. So, we are sold out with the exhibit floor. Probably half of the exhibitors you'll recognize and half are new. We've been seeing this trend where, we have so many repeat customers, but there's so many new damage prevention players who have an important role in our road to zero damages. And they are there to showcase everything they have to offer. So if you have a damage prevention problem, this is where you find your damage prevention solution. I would encourage you to take advantage of walk the show floor. It's a great opportunity to grab some food, grab a cocktail, meet with somebody new, talk to somebody that could be a potential business partner. But we're excited to bring this show floor to life. And it's a brand new 50,000 square foot ballroom with no columns. It's just a beautiful, beautiful space. And this is the outside area where you see vehicle one. That's about a 10 to 50. You can fit a vac truck in those areas, or you can do a demo in those areas. The tent area will be a 10 by 10, just a standard white tent, and that's meant to be an extension of an indoor exhibit. If somebody has a product or service from the indoor exhibit, caution tape, hardware, paint, flag shooter, they can come outside and actually demo their products as well, as a bonus up during the Dig Demo Discuss. So conference pricing hasn't changed. We're probably one of the few things in America that hasn't. As prices continue to rise, CGA has remained constant, even extending the conference and adding an additional reception. CGA full member registration is $1,200, non-member is $1,600. If you are a non-CGA member or a soon-to-be CGA member on this call, please feel free to reach out to me directly at kurt@commongroundalliance.com, and we can get you brought into the fold and registered as a CGA member to take advantage of not only the conference, but all of our committee summits and other opportunities throughout the year. Regular registration rate will be available from actual November 1st through February 13th, and happy Valentine's Day. That's when the late registration begins, an easy way to remember that. Call Before You Divot Classic. It's a 1.5 miles away at the beautiful Hawks Landing Golf Course at the Marriott World Center. We're going to have a lot of fun there. And we also, the room rates are locked in. It's the lowest rate possible that you can find anywhere at $239 per night plus a $10 per resort fee. The reservation link for rooms will only be sent to you after you have secured your conference registration. We do this to protect the room block and to make sure those attending the conference can have a room within it. So I would encourage you to book early, and you will be provided a registration or the reservation link to secure your room online once you have secured your conference registration. And again, registration opens up early November. This kind of breaks down the registration fees. It tells you about the regular fees, the government, and also for any exhibitors that might be on the call, what your fees look like as well. Something new we're offering this year is also the one-day pass. We heard with Big Ears, I have somebody locally. I have my boss can only come in for one day. He's part of a session. So if that is the case, we are offering a one-day pass this year, and you'll have the ability to designate that on the registration page as well. A big component up there, groups of 10 or more will receive 10% discount on your registration. If you know that you are going to be registering a large group, but it has to come out of your 23 budget, we have some opportunities for you. We have some forms that Megan Blakeney on our team will be able to supply you. And once we get your group registered, we will provide you the room block and the group room block for you to register those guests. And then it will be up to you to commit to payment net 30 days in January. The point of doing this is we are capped with space at the 2023 CGA Conference and Expo. We want to make sure that we have the ability to get as many people as we can in. And should we be looking at selling out a room block, the earlier we know this, the greater opportunity we have to go and secure additional space. So again, this offer is not offered to an individual. This offer is strictly for any company or one call or organization or exhibitor that is securing 10 or more registrants, 10 or more rooms, but knows they cannot pay the bill until 2023. We will make this special exemption from you, and there'll be information on how to submit for this on the website. And Megan will work with you to make sure we get you in lockstep and your folks registered to take advantage of the group rate. So the timeline for the conference, call for proposals is underway. It's going to go quick, friends. We're about 5 months out here. So early November, the registration will open and the deadline to submit proposals. During the month of November, we're going to be contacting the speakers and panelists. And then early January, the education schedule will be posted to the CGA Conference website. And by early January, we mean like New Year's Day, if not before. And then regular registration ends, and then mid-April we'll have the conference, and then we do some actual surveys afterwards. I had a question that came in: how will exhibitors get the hotel reservation link? Once you register for the conference, you'll get that reservation link just like an attendee. Because you have a booth, you still have to register your exhibitors, the name, the company, the title, all of their information. So it will be an API. It will already have your information in that you are an exhibitor, but you will register your exhibitors just as you would an attendee, and you will receive the link to the room block. With that, I also wanted to indicate to save the date for the 2024 CGA Conference and Expo. We will be at the Broadmoor Resort in Colorado Springs, Colorado. It's an absolutely spectacular event, and as I just went over the elongated schedule of almost 4 days of damage prevention activities in 2023, this one will be a day shorter. We will be arriving at the Broadmoor on Sunday, as the golf outing will be Sunday afternoon. We will go hit the ground running on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And for 2024, the night of networking will be on Wednesday night, and we'll be moving out of the property on Thursday. So this 2023 schedule is a bit more elongated, and the 2024 schedule is a bit more abbreviated. And we will be open to feedback on all events to see how folks feel and like the transition. And knowing where we are with the Expo Floor for 2023, we are working on securing the Broadmoor's Bartolin Hall, which is 100,000 square foot under roof. It's a separate exhibit floor, as we want to make sure we provide all the opportunity we can for our CGA members to showcase their products and services at the only event produced and managed and supported by the Common Ground Alliance. So it's a fantastic opportunity to get your name and your brand out there. So a lot of changes this year within the schedule. I do want to remind everybody that while we do have these offsite tours on Thursday, we also have the Call Before You Divot Classic, where we've got a hole-in-one prize pack of a pair of tickets to the Super Bowl. So we'll have a great event there as well. And then always culminating with Thursday's CGA night of networking on that Thursday night. So I would encourage you to stay tuned to cgaconference.com for more information. When we do announce the registrations open, it'll be in multiple forms: social media, direct email, LinkedIn, conference website. You can't miss it. But I would encourage you to stay tuned, and we are certainly open to any questions. If you'd like to ask them verbally or put them in the chat, we are happy to answer any questions that you may have. All right. Well, seeing none, I'm hoping that the information was communicated clearly. Obviously, we're incredibly excited to be in Orlando and share with you the opportunities we have to enhance damage prevention. And we look forward to you joining us on the road to zero damages at the 2023 CGA Conference and Expo at the Caribe Royale in sunny Orlando, Florida, April 17th to the 21st. Again, this webinar is being recorded. All those in attendance will be provided a link that you can share with others. This will conclude today's call. Be safe.